Hey everybody, this is the building a basic website from scratch tutorial. This is part 1 out of 4, creating and linking a project to the web. I'll be moving through this tutorial pretty quickly, but if you're looking for more detailed instruction, please see the attached slide deck and Notion in the description. So part 1, looking at GitHub. The two primary benefits to using GitHub are that you can save to the web, and because you can save to the web, it gives other people the ability to work off of your project on the web, so they can either download it or update it. Here's a visualization to help understand that concept. You as a user have the ability to update GitHub with a project that you already have or download a project from GitHub. Because GitHub saves to a remote server, others can download your project from GitHub, provided that they have the given access, and they can make a request to change it as well. If that project owner reviews and agrees to these changes, they can connect GitHub to a hosting site where the changes that are made will update a live domain. First thing you want to do is install Git. If you have it already, you can skip step 1. If you aren't sure, check with the following command here in your terminal, doing git space -- version. And if you don't, please follow along with the instructions in the slide deck. Also, quick note, if you already have a project that you've made or downloaded, please skip to step 3. If not, please continue to follow along to create one. So cloning a new repository, fairly straightforward. It allows you to create a new project from the web and download it on your local computer. Because you signed into GitHub, you've signaled that the connection is secure and there's no further authentication or configuration that needs to be set up. Once you download, you're able to interact with GitHub remotely as you please. If you access github.com, you should be able to download a project, and with that project is going to be that connection. So be sure to follow the following steps in the slide deck in Notion. We're going to go to github.com and we're going to click a few buttons, and that is eventually going to give us a link that we can use to clone that project or copy that project to our local computer. So I'm going to go to github.com. I'm going to click on this plus button, go to new repository. I'm going to create a new repository called new repo 1. I'm going to scroll down, go to create repository, and that's going to give us this link here. Now that we have that link, we're going to copy that link. And that is the end of step 1. Looking at a review, be sure to navigate to github.com, go to new repository, click the plus button, give it a name, go to create repository, and you'll have that link. Copy that link. So on my computer, I'm going to open up iTerm, and I'm going to navigate to my desktop. I'll make a folder for it. So let's call that Git projects, whatever you want to name it. Navigate into this new folder. And if you're looking for more instructions on how to use terminal or shortcuts, be sure again to check out the slide deck. Once you're in the folder, now we can go ahead and type the following command. You're going to use git clone, and then that link that you copied earlier, you're going to want to hit paste and enter, and that is going to clone your project. And you can see by listing what's in that folder that we created earlier, and it's going to say new repo 1. So now that we've cloned that repo, we're going to navigate into that repo, and we are going to do code dot, and that should open up VS Code for us from that repository. That should be it for cloning a repository. So from here, you can move on to the next video tutorial, or if you're looking to learn more about how to initialize an existing project, feel free to stick around. With that being said, here's how you initialize an existing project. Part 1, you want to be sure to create a new project on your local computer, whether that's by using a project or repo from the tutorial or a bootcamp that you're attending, or if you already know how to use HTML and CSS and you've just built something from scratch. So you can actually just make a new project just by making a folder. Just going to call it test project A25. I'm going to drag and drop that to VS Code. It should open up a new window, and I'm just going to hit trust the authors. Now you need to make the remote connection. So you need to actually make a repository on github.com for the existing project that you have, that folder on your desktop, to connect to that project on GitHub. So we're going to go through these steps again. Very quickly, we'll go to github.com. Be sure you have an account. Click here on new repository. Call it the same thing, test repo A25. Go to create repository, and then I'm going to copy and paste this link. Now that we have that link, we can go through the process of initialization and using the terminal to make a connection between the local project or files that you have and the remote GitHub repository. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you're in your project folder. Here I'm in test project A25. That's the local project folder I have. I'm going to make sure that I'm in the right directory, test repo A25. Then I'm going to add a README file with some text. And in this case, I'm going to put the directory name, test repo A25 carrots readme.md. It's going to add a new text file, which you'll see in the Explorer pane on the left side there. Then we're going to do git init, which is going to prepare project to connect to GitHub. And we're going to do git add readme.md. We're going to do git commit m first commit. So those changes have now been staged and committed, which is somewhat to the equivalent of saving locally. We're going to do git branch and main. So we're just changing the name of the main root branch to main. And then we're going to do git remote at origin. And then we're going to put the URL as the location to push changes to. So now that that's all said and done, you're now free to interact with GitHub, and you should be able to push your changes and make any updates accordingly. Be sure to check out the next tutorial, how to set up your project. I'll see you in the next one.